I need to tell you something right from the start. I used to feel like prayer was too much impossible even. I believed in God, yes. I believed in His power, His sovereignty, His word. But deep down, I wrestled with this question. How could God possibly hear me, when millions of people are praying at the same time? What made my prayer matter in that flood of voices? Then I heard C.S. Lewis, and it wrecked me in the best way. He said, "Almost certainly, God is not in time." That was the line that shook something loose in me, because suddenly I realized I'd been seeing prayer through the broken lens of my own limitations. I thought God was just a bigger version of me juggling demands, trying to keep up. But He's not. He's infinite. He's outside of time. He is the eternal now. And if that's true, if every moment is present to Him, then your cry at 3 a.m. and my whispered prayer in traffic aren't competing for His attention. He's not distracted. He's not overbooked. He's right here. He hears you. Let that hit you. You are not unseen. You are not background noise. You are as known and loved in this moment as if you were the only soul God ever created. So let me say this to you as clearly as I can. Don't sleep through eternity, knocking at your heart. Don't let the routine of religion rob you of the reality of relationship. Don't let the speed of this world numb you to the stillness of His voice. I know life moves fast. I know your calendar is full and your phone is louder than your soul, but somewhere in the middle of all that noise, He is calling your name. Right now. If not now, when? If not you, now. You see, the greatest danger isn't disbelief. It's delay. It's distraction. It's drifting so slowly you don't even notice your heart growing cold. But this isn't just theology. This isn't abstract. This is a call to wake up, to live with your eyes wide open to the God who inhabits the eternal present. That's what Lewis helped me see. And I believe that's what God wants to awaken in you right now. So don't wait to feel worthy. Don't wait to figure it all out. Start where you are. Speak, pray, surrender. Because eternity isn't something we stumble into later. It's something we're standing in now. And I promise you, once you begin to live with that awareness, everything changes. Your prayers come alive. Your time gains weight, and your faith stops being a Sunday idea and becomes an all-consuming fire. Let's step into that fire together. Let's press in deeper, because this changes everything. C.S. Lewis said something that dismantled a lie I'd carried my whole life, the lie that maybe my prayers were just echoes bouncing off the ceiling, that maybe God was too busy holding galaxies together to really listen to someone like me. Have you ever felt that? But Lewis, with his razor-sharp clarity and soul-deep wonder, reminded me that God does not live in a time series like we do. Our lives tick forward, moment by moment, like a second hand crawling across a watch face. But God does not tick. He reigns, He sees, He holds. Lewis said it like this: every other moment from the beginning to the end of the world is always the present for Him. That means when a pilot screams out a final prayer as the plane falls from the sky, when a mother cries in the dark with no one to comfort her, when a teenager stares at the ceiling and whispers, "God, are you even there?" He is fully present. He is fully listening, not in delay, not in strain, in love. He isn't rushed. He isn't crowded. You don't get part of His attention, you get all of it. Right now, as you sit reading these words or hearing my voice, I want you to feel the truth hit your bones. You are as real, as heard, as important, as if you were the only soul in existence. That's not self-help fluff. That's eternal reality. It's hard to imagine, isn't it? We're used to being forgotten in a crowd, passed over in meetings, unheard in relationships. but not with God. With Him, you are not one among billions. You are His beloved child. He hears your prayer as clearly as if it were the only sound in the universe. Time doesn't limit Him. It doesn't box Him in. So stop letting it box you in. Don't let the ticking clock steal your courage. Don't let the long delay deceive you into thinking He didn't hear. He heard you the moment you cried out, and He still hears you now. You see, prayer isn't shouting into darkness. It's speaking into eternity. And the one who stands outside of time bends low to catch every word. So pray again. Pray bold. Pray honest. Because the God who sees the end from the beginning hasn't missed a moment of your story, and He never will. Let me tell you what finally unlocked this truth in my heart. It wasn't a theological textbook. It wasn't a seminary lecture. It was a story, a picture that C.S. Lewis painted, and I've never been able to forget it. Lewis said, "Suppose I'm writing a novel. I write, 'Mary laid down her book.' Next moment came a knock at the door. Now, to Mary, the character inside the story, it all happens instantly. She lays the book down, and then bam, the knock. One moment follows the next. But for the author, Lewis says he could step away after writing that first sentence. He could go outside, take a walk, sit and think. He could take an entire year before he writes the knock. Why? Because the author isn't in the story's time. He stands outside of it, sovereign over every page. That's who God is. He is the author not just of the world, but of your life. And while you and I walk through our story line by line, moment by moment, He sees it all beginning, middle, and end in one beautiful, eternal glance. And it's not rushed, it's not cold, it's not clinical. No, He writes with love, He writes with purpose, He writes with nail-scarred hands. Sometimes I panic. I think, God, why haven't you turned the page yet? Why hasn't the breakthrough come? But then I remember He hasn't forgotten the story. He's just working it with infinite care. He's not skipping ahead. He's pausing over your sentence, over your sorrow, over your next step. You're not just ink on a page to Him. You are His beloved character, and He's completely invested in the outcome. Friend, you are never hurried. He holds you. Your life is not consumed in His mind. It is lovingly, intricately, intentionally known. And here's the part that makes me tremble with awe. God isn't writing a tragedy. He's writing redemption. Even the darkest chapter of your story is held in His nail-pierced hands, and He will bring beauty from it, even if right now you're sitting in the middle of the confusion. If He's the author, and He is, then no line is wasted. Not the silence, not the waiting, not the pain. He is outside of time, but fully present in your story. That's the miracle. So when you pray, when you step forward in faith, you're not writing in vain. You're walking with the one who already knows how this ends. And hear me clearly. It ends in glory. It ends in life. It ends with you standing in the presence of the author who wrote every heartbeat with love. Let's be honest. It's easier to talk about change than to live changed. It's easier to be stirred by a sermon, convicted by a quote, even humbled by a moment of worship, than it is to let God dig down deep and rearrange the furniture in the rooms we've kept locked for years. But that's exactly where He wants to go. I remember when I first heard Lewis's words about the soldier and his rifle. He said, "Isn't it selfish to worry about the state of your soul instead of the needs of the world?" And then he offered this piercing image. Imagine a soldier saying to his commanding officer, "Sergeant, isn't it morbid to always clean my rifle when there's a war going on? Friend, what good is a soldier in battle with a filthy weapon? What good is a soul in ministry if the inside is corroded by pride, bitterness, or spiritual laziness? That analogy knocked the wind out of me because I've lived it. There was a season in my life when I was doing good work. I was preaching, serving, leading, but inside I was compromising. Small sins, private indulgences, a prayer life that looked alive on the outside but was dried up and mechanical. I thought I could still be useful. I thought I could cover it up with energy and excellence. But let me tell you what happened. My impact lost its edge. People still applauded, but there was no fire, no fruit. My rifle was dirty, and eventually it misfired. Lewis said it clearly: people who are still acting from their natural selves won't do much real or permanent good to others. Why? Because what you are always leaks into what you do. We try to be kind, but it comes off as cold, condescending. We try to be humble, but there's a whiff of self-righteousness. We try to serve, but our ego quietly demands to be seen. We try to love, but our love is laced with need or control. Only a clean heart can carry the weight of holy love. You see, this is what sanctification really means. Not external behavior correction, but an internal crucifixion and resurrection. Dying to the old self, being remade in the image of Christ. Not just washed, but reformed. And here's the miracle. He's willing to do it, if we'll let him. This isn't about shame, it's about surrender. This isn't God yelling at you to get your act together. This is Jesus, kneeling to wash your feet, saying, "Let me clean what's been clouding your mission." So I ask you, is your rifle clean? Is your heart ready? Don't march into spiritual battle with a soul cluttered by compromise. The war is too real. The wounds are too deep. The time is too short. Let God do the hard work inside you so you can fight with clarity, serve with purity, and love with power. You ever bite into a crab apple? It looks like an apple. Shiny, promising, even beautiful. But one bite and your whole face tightens up. It's bitter, sour, unpleasant. That, my friend, is what our goodness looks like when it's rooted in self, not Christ. I've seen it in my own life, and maybe you've seen it too. You try to do the right thing. You give to that family in need. You serve in ministry. You show up. You speak kind words. And yet, something's off. It's not that you did the wrong thing. It's that what you did didn't taste like love. It tasted like pressure, pride, performance, or maybe just duty. C.S. Lewis put it this way: history isn't just the story of bad people doing bad things, it's also full of people trying to do good, but something goes wrong. He talked about how charity, real, sacrificial love, can turn cold as steel when it flows from the old self. You and I know what that feels like. When someone helps you but looks down on you. When someone serves but makes it clear they're doing you a favor. When the gift feels like a weapon and the smile is painted on. Listen to me. The world doesn't need more good deeds. It needs deeds rooted in a new heart. We don't just need fruit, we need sweet fruit, ripe fruit, lasting fruit, and only Christ in you can grow that. I had to learn this the hard way. There was a season where I was doing all the right things, showing up, giving generously, teaching truth, but deep inside, I was bitter, I was tired, I was hollow. And what came out of me was like crab apples, technically good, but spiritually sour. It didn't nourish anybody. Not really, not deeply. Lewis was right. What you are comes out in what you do. You can't fake it for long. Eventually, the root tells on the fruit. That's why Jesus didn't come just to teach us new habits. He came to make us new, to rip out the old root and plant his life inside us. That's the gospel. So let me say it plainly. Don't just act good, be remade. Don't just give, let your hands be sanctified. Don't just serve, let your soul be surrendered. You weren't saved to pretend, you were saved to transform. So I ask you, what's your fruit tasting like lately? Are you producing the sweetness of the Spirit or the sourness of self? Let Him dig deep. Let Him change the soil. Let Him be the root, and He will produce fruit that lasts. Have you ever looked into someone's face and just known deep down that Jesus was alive in them? I have. I remember meeting a woman once, not famous, not flashy, not loud, but her presence stopped the room. There was peace on her like oil, and joy in her eyes like a sunrise. And I remember thinking, there's something stronger here, quieter, happier, more alive than ordinary humanity. That wasn't her personality, that was Christ. C.S. Lewis noticed it too. He said that in some believers, the process of transformation goes further even before this life ends. Their faces, their voices, even their very being seem to speak of another world. It's not fake, it's not forced, it's not a mask of religion, it's glory leaking through clay. And friend, that's not reserved for pastors or mystics or spiritual superheroes. That's for you. Yes, you. You can become a living signpost of resurrection power. You can walk into a room and carry hope that feels like heat. You can live in such a way that people wonder, what is this joy that doesn't shatter under pressure? What is this strength that doesn't come from striving? But listen closely. This isn't about behavior management. This is about Christ living in you, His Spirit pulsing through your desires, healing your wounds, changing your countenance. You can't fabricate this kind of transformation. You can't Photoshop it. You can't memorize enough verses or smile enough Sundays to fake it. But when Jesus truly takes hold of your inner life, everything starts to shift. Your tone softens, your pace slows, your eyes see deeper, your presence brings peace. Because it's no longer you but Christ in you, the hope of glory, and the world notices. In a culture where everyone is shouting, complaining, panicking, this kind of quiet power shines like a lighthouse. So, I urge you, don't settle for surface religion. Let Him go all the way in. Let Him change your face. Let Him transform your voice. Let Him live in you so fully that people can't explain, you only encounter Him. Because the greatest evangelism today might not be a sermon, it might be your face lit with the fire of Christ. Let's become the kind of people Lewis described stronger, quieter, happier, and unmistakably alive. Let's talk about something that stirs a lot of curiosity: evolution. People are constantly asking, what's next for humanity? We've gone from caves to skyscrapers, from horse-drawn carts to space travel. So, what's the next leap? Some say it's AI. Some say it's genetic engineering. Some imagine superhumans with 6 arms, glowing eyes, or mind-reading powers. But I believe C.S. Lewis said it best. They're on the wrong trail. Because the next step in human evolution has already appeared. And it's not a monster. It's not a mutant. It's not science fiction. It's Jesus Christ. He is not merely an advanced man. He is the new kind of man. And in Him, you and I are invited into something far more glorious than an upgraded genome. We are invited to become sons and daughters of God. This isn't biological speculation, it's divine revelation. This isn't man rising up through nature, it's God stepping down into it. The next stage of human life didn't evolve up from the mud, it descended from the throne of heaven. Let me say it plainly. The next phase in humanity isn't better tech, it's transformed hearts. It's not about growing stronger muscles or sharper minds. It's about becoming filled with the Holy Spirit, shaped into the likeness of the Son. It's about receiving a new nature that overcomes sin, fear, death, and hell. This is the next step, and you're standing at the edge of it right now. So here's the question. Will you step forward into sonship, or will you slip back into slavery? The choice is in front of us every single day. Drift back into the default nature, into survival mode, into pride, into brokenness, or step into identity, power, transformation. Step into Christ. I know the world offers us a counterfeit evolution, a promise of self-actualization without surrender, of empowerment without obedience. But that path doesn't lead upward, it leads inward, then downward, and it ends in self-destruction. Jesus offers something completely different. Not improvement, not enhancement, rebirth. And with rebirth comes inheritance, authority, purpose, and a destiny not shaped by chance, but chosen by God Himself. So I'm asking you right now, not in theory, but in real time, will you take the next step? Will you stop chasing the illusion of superhuman achievement and instead receive the true gift of becoming a child of God? Because you were not made to mutate. You were made to be adopted. You were made to walk in the image of the Son. You were made for divine transformation. Let's take the step. Right here, right now. Let me tell you something that used to terrify me, losing myself. I thought following Christ would erase me, make me just another blank, boring face in a crowd of holy robots. I was scared that if I gave everything to Him, I'd vanish into a sea of sameness. No more quirks, no more dreams, no more meh. But I was wrong, because here's the paradox at the heart of Christianity, what C.S. Lewis called one of the strangest, most glorious truths of the gospel. When you lose yourself in Christ, you finally find your real self. That's not just poetry, that's reality. You see, what we call ourself right now, what we defend, what we try to polish, what we parade around on social media, isn't actually our true self. It's a bundle of reactions, insecurities, pride, fears, appetites, and memories. Some of it came from our parents, some from culture, some from wounds, some from sin. But the version of you that God dreamed up, that's still waiting to be born, and it only comes alive when you surrender. Let me put it another way. If Christ is salt, He doesn't destroy the dish, He brings out its real flavor. You are not meant to disappear in Him. You are meant to appear for the first time. Think of an artist. The truly original painter is not the one trying to be original, but the one fully devoted to beauty, truth, and vision. That's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to impress others and simply obey the Spirit, that's when your life becomes a masterpiece. Lewis once said, "Give up yourself and you will find your real self. Lose your life and you will save it." Isn't that what Jesus said too? Whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. Matthew 16:25. And that's not just about dying, it's about living. Living unafraid, living untangled from comparison, living without performing, living rooted in love, living fully known. Listen to me, Christ is not trying to make you less human. He's trying to make you fully human, more alive, more vibrant, more you than you've ever been. So stop striving to stand out. Stop clinging to your curated identity. Stop trying to become someone worth loving. He already loves you. He already sees the real you, and He's inviting you to become that person today. Let go, surrender, and watch what happens when grace meets your true design. Friend, we've come to the edge of a cliff, and now it's time to jump. Not into fear, not into loss, but into life. You've heard me talk about God's timeless presence, how every moment, from creation to now, is present to Him. How your prayers are not one among millions, lost in some heavenly inbox. Number, you are heard. You are seen. You are known. Right now. You've heard me speak of the inner transformation, the cleaning of the rifle, the tearing out of the crab-apple root, the light that begins to shine in faces that have let Christ move in. You've heard the truth. You were not made to perform goodness, but to become good through Him. You were not made to maintain yourself, but to surrender it and watch as your true self finally breathes. You were made for this. You were made for more. And so I say to you now, with urgency in my voice and hope in my heart, choose to step into the eternal now. Pray, surrender, be remade. Let go of who you think you are, to become who God made you to be. Take the step today, because if cosmic time is no barrier for God, if He holds all eternity and yet still has infinite attention for you, then what excuse do you have left? What reason is good enough to delay? Fear? He already knows it, and He loves you still. Doubt? Bring it with you. He'll walk you through it. Shame? That's why He went to the cross. Not to shame you, but to set you free. C.S. Lewis said it best. When Christ died, He died for you individually, just as much as if you had been the only man in the world. This isn't abstract. This isn't theory. This is personal. This is eternal. This is now. So what are you waiting for? Don't sleep through eternity knocking at your heart. Don't scroll past your second chance. Don't live another day in the smallness of self-protection. Christ is calling you to rise, to surrender, to begin. Today, this very moment, can become the first step in your new life. Will you take it?